Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. Quick update on our live training bootcamp on API automation that we are going to start from July 11th. It's like the most awaited batch for this year. A lot of people were asking about Naveen that when are you going to start the API training batch? So finally, we have already announced it. Enrollments are still open. If you are really interested, you can enroll for this bootcamp. So what do you just need to do? You just need to go to naveenautomationlabs.com, go to this live training, and then this is available here. You just need to click on that. And then after that, you will see the registration page and everything here. So here, you just need to do what? You just need to go through the entire page, see the course content and fee and everything. All the details are mentioned here. Just fill this particular form and do the registration from here. I quickly go through the course content and the syllabus. That this course content is very practically designed the way we work in real-time projects. So this is going to help you a lot with respect to APIs and people who are coming from manual testing background or UI testing background or Selenium background. This is going to help you a lot. In fact, if you are a fresher also, I really want to improve your API testing level and then API testing technologies. If you really want to learn, that is going to help you a lot because the course content, the topics, that the syllabus that I have prepared according to the current market situation, what exactly people are looking for, which tool is very demanding in the market, and which client that we have to learn, what are the different techniques, and then the authentication, authorization process that we have to handle in the APIs and everything that I have included here. So quickly, first we will go with the what do you mean by API, the design, the web services, what do you mean by backend architecture, and how exactly backend is interacting with the database and getting the data and displaying on the UI in between, at the middle level or middleware level, that what are the different testing we can perform for the backend processes for the APIs and everything. So we will see the design part, what are the different types of calls and everything. So first, initially, we will do some like how to manually hit the APIs in the Postman and different other various clients are available, and then or how to check the network calls and APIs and everything in the browser. So the first important tool that every automation engineer or every API tester should have in their laptop is the Postman. So the Postman that we are going to cover, it's not like simple Postman things that we are going to cover. We are going to talk about the basics to advanced level, that where exactly we can create the scripting, and in Postman we can write the JavaScript also, and then we can write the test cases according with JavaScript as well. So that is going to help you a lot, that if you don't want to use, let's say, Java based or Python based programming languages with the for your API automation, you don't want to, let's say, you don't want to use RestAssured for that, you can still write your test cases and you can automate within Postman as well. So Postman is having a feature of adding the scripts and everything. You can do it, and it's a very amazing tool, no doubt about it. There are some amazing features are available. Like, it's in Postman, it's a complete ecosystem where you have the complete API architecture, the design, the mocking, and everything. In fact, they have included the performance testing also for your API automation, including API automation, functional automation, then parameterization, and then running through the CI/CD, CLI, Newman, integration with the Jenkins, running through cloud, and then create a Docker image of that, and then everything you can do with respect to Postman. So that is like amazing course content that I have prepared for you guys, that not only simple basic Postman, but the advanced Postman and Newman series also we have added. I'm not going to go through each and every point here, but you can see that A to Z point that I have written with respect to Postman here, right? And then how to run the collections and then create the Docker images, maintenance, mocking, services, everything we are going to cover with respect to Postman. And then I have added some really simple to complex test scripting in Postman also here. That is what also we have written here. Then after that, there are some out of the box topics that we have to cover, that how to check API at the network layer using developer tools of the browser. Very, very important. Different browsers we are going to use to check the request response and everything in Firefox or Chrome or other browsers. What do you mean by HTTP status code? It's not like only one status code we are bothered about. We have to really think about a design point of view, that what do you mean by status code? What do you mean by error code? What do you mean by 400, 500, 200, 300, and all those things? And what do you mean by GUT call, post call, put call, with various examples we are going to talk about that. Either it is multi-part or simple file or maybe JSON payload or XML payload or complex to complex, lengthy, big JSON payload, if you really want to supply, how to supply that and all those things. We are going to cover about that. And then your authentication part also that we have included, which is like something very, very important. Everyone should know about it with respect to Postman also and the rest assured. Although these points I have already written over here, you can go through it. So once your Postman part is done, we are going to talk some different other libraries also, like HTTP client libraries with respect to Java, because now the Java is the mandatory thing to use rest assured, because rest assured is a Java DSL library. So you should have some basic knowledge about Java. So in this course, we are not going to cover Java. Java videos will be shared with you, because if you cover Java, it will take another 2 months to complete only Java, and then we have to pick the rest assured part. But I would advise you the basics of Java, like what do you mean by classes, objects, for loop, while loop, what do you mean by simple basic collections, you should know about it. And then I think you are good to go with the rest assured as well, right? So then we have a different JDK 11 client, like HTTP client, which is a very popular client that we are going to use to call all these APIs. And then what do you mean by query parameter, path parameter with these HTTP client. But there is one very famous library, which is Java DSL library, where you can execute your APIs with almost like all the features are available with respect to different formats, different authentications. Either it is any kind of CRUD operation that you are performing it, any kind of authentication authorization that you are handling it. Amazing logging features are available, and then it can be easily integrated with your CI/CD and everything. We will do that. So if you go through it, that introduction of rest assured, simple JSON to complex JSON, and then various level of authentication. This is like one of the most important topics that people actually don't bother. But at a time of interview, at a time of a project also, everyone should know what do you mean by different authentication levels and how to call the APIs with the authentications. So basic auth, primitive auth, digestive auth, bearer token, authorization token, client ID, client secret, API key, API secrets, OAuth 1.0, 2.0, JWT token. And there are various other types of token also that we are going to talk, and then how to implement in Postman and in Rest Assured. We will see that as well. And then again, the core features of Rest Assured are very, very important. That in Rest Assured, there are two types of approaches we can use it. Rest Assured is having its own inbuilt BDD approach, behavioral driven development approach, with the help of like given, when, then method that they have added. And then you can use the builder pattern and then to create a method chain with the build BDD approaches. And then you can call the respective APIs, and then call the APIs, create your request payload, assert it, and then check a number of assertions within the same request that you can add it here. So that is like amazing features provided by Rest Assured. We will go through with that as well. What do you mean by query parameter, path parameter? Some amazing concepts like what do you mean by response builder spec and request specification concept that we are going to talk about, that we don't need to rewrite the code again and again. We can just create, let's see, one request specification that every time we have to add this particular JSON payload, these number of headers and authentication. So we don't need to write that code again. We just need to use this request specification object and then hit that, pass that object every time, and then we will get the response. And for the response also, we can create the builder spec, that also we are going to talk about it. And then what do you mean by JSON path and XML path? This is like the most important feature. Most of the folks are they actually struggle, and they are not aware of it. That what do you mean by JSON path and XML path? That in fact, whenever you are getting, let's say, a huge response in the JSON or XML, we have to parse it. And that is the most challenging part. But with the help of JSON path or XML path, we can write our own JSON path query also, or XML queries also. There are some certain formats or formulas that we have to use it here. If you know those formulas, then absolutely you can you can crack any JSON or any complex to complex JSON. Just like we create the XML path in XPath in Selenium for the UI automation, same thing we have to create the JSON path or XML path over here as well. So this is like 2-3 dedicated chapters we are having for JSON path, which library, the JWay library, that we have to use it here, and then we are going to use that as well. Then the concepts like how to send a post call with the JSON file using POSO classes and all those things, we are going to cover that. Very important approach, very easy approach, and then very standard approach in the market for the API automation point of view. We will see. What do you mean by serialization, deserialization? Very important topic, that whenever you have to convert your POSO or Java class to JSON and JSON to POSO, what exactly the advantage with respect to serialization and deserialization, marshalling and unmarshalling concept that we are going to use it. And then we are going to use the Hamcrest assertion library also to assertions. So this is very famous library which is there for the assertion point of view. We are going to talk about that as well. Once the core features are done, along with that, okay, one more thing, we are going to talk about the non-VDD approaches also. So both the approaches we are going to cover, inbuilt VDD approach and the non-VDD approach. One small thing that please avoid Cucumber with the API automation, because in Cucumber you have to write the feature file, and feature file is again BDD is again the collaboration with your PO, QA, and the dev. They should work together. They should create the feature file together. And it is not recommended that, okay, you're writing your specifications or your features in the feature file that, okay, user is expecting when we hit the call, we are expecting 200 response code or something like that. No, your PO is actually the product owner for the a product point of view, for the feature point of view, not for your backend or for API automation. So specification generally we don't write in the feature file. It's a bad approach that if someone is using Cucumber, not a recommended approach, although you can use it, no one is stopping you, but is it really relevant or not? According to me, it's totally irrelevant. And that is not the market demand as well, that you have to use Cucumber for the API point of view. No, we don't need to do that. Okay, so once the features are completely done, then we have to cover the end-to-end framework using RestAssured, using different real-time APIs. That is the most important thing, that every example or everything that we are going to use for all these calls in Postman and RestAssured and everywhere, that we have to use some real time so that we will get the feel of the actual application, that how exactly it is working. Because see, in UI automation, what happens that you have full-fledged UI available, different e-commerce application, banking application, or dummy applications are available. But in the API automation, it is slightly challenging of and difficult to find those API which are having proper authentication. For example, let's see, you go to Shopify or Spotify or Twitter APIs or Instagram APIs or Facebook API, Gmail APIs, and all those things. Then in that case, you really need to know that how exactly, what kind of authentication, what kind of API documentations are available. We have to read it and then we have to automate that. That is like the most important part here in the API automation. It's not like, ready-made UIs are available and then you just need to do it. No, right? Here we have to find out that, okay, what are the best APIs are available. We can automate, we can practice so that we will get the real-time exposure over here. So that is what we are going to cover. Some really good applications, some really good APIs, easy to complex to some really complex APIs that we are going to use it here. I'll show you that how to read the documentations and everything. And then we are going to cover with the end-to-end framework as well. Like framework means that just like we do it in the UI or other frameworks as well, same thing in the APIs as well, that we are going to cover setup one Maven project, complete folder structure, API task test automation design, and different components. The most important thing, we have to create different REST client libraries over here. We have to create some wrapper functions on top of get, post, put, and delete. And then we have to write some test cases with testng, parameterization, data-driven approach, and runners through XML files, and then various different level of success messages and constant and everything that we have to configure, reporting and everything we have to configure in the API automation. Also, like we have integrated with the Allure report, extend report, and all those things, we can use it here. And then we will see that how to check in and check out your code, push and pull, and then integration with the CI/CD pipeline. We will create a Docker images for API test automation. This is something really good that where, let's see, you really want to run your API test cases on the client machine or some other machine. So I just create one Docker image of the whole entire API test automation, and then I'll give it to you. You just need to hit one command, Docker run, and your image name. It will start pulling your image and it will start running your test cases directly from here. You don't need to set up any Eclipse or any kind of other thing like no Java, JDK, Maven, nothing. You just need to have Docker on your system and that's it. The Docker engine, the Docker desktop will automatically pull this image and then run your test cases. So this is what we are going to do. And then we will see that how can we execute this Docker image directly through the CI/CD pipeline and everything. The moment I check in my code, automatically it will create the image for me. It will register my Docker image on the Docker Hub in the registry, and it will pull it from there, and then it will run. So we will see those things as well. See, as an example, I have written here, download the Docker image and run it on any machine. advanced reporting part like extend report, SNG report, and LEO report. We are going to talk about build automation tool, run your API test automation framework from Maven, TestNG framework for API test cases. We will see the Nexus, also ngrok proxy and all those things, auto triggering job, scheduling, polling, and then ngrok proxy for the fat jar creation point of view. Let's say you are working in the product-based companies and then you have designed some API automation, a framework that you have developed, and you really want to distribute that framework that I want other teams are going to I wanted okay the team should use my framework. So you can create a jar of this, a fat jar of it, including your other external libraries like RestAssured, TestNG, and everything. Combine them together and distribute. So people will start taking your jar, just like we have Selenium jars are available. Start taking your jar and then they will download, configure in the project, and then focus on their API test cases by using API methods that you have written actually. So this is also we are going to cover in the real-time framework here, right? So, and then we will see that some other concept like wire mock also that we have added this time, that mocking API using wire mock, how to define your dummy APIs, because this is the challenging part. Let's say you are going to automate some banking application or payment gateways, but payment gateway is not giving you any QA or a stage environment. They have only direct production environment and you don't have any control that. And that their production is integrated with your production environment. But you are working here, let's see, on the QA environment. So this QA environment will not be connected to payment gateway production environment, right? So what we have to do, we have to dummy. We have to create a behavior. We have to create a mocking services of mocking API so that my QA environment is connected with these mocking services. We will just create some sample or some fake APIs here. So moment I call from here, I'll get the exactly same response that I was getting from the production, so that I can write the integration test cases or end-to-end test cases also here. So this is called like mocking APIs or defining the mocking behavior and everything, and defining your dummy APIs here. It's very important, very famous, popular library, that WireMock library. We are going to talk about that as well. That is called mocking. And then the real-time API example that I have written, like GoRes, request.in, and then a Booker API, Weather API, IMDb, Shopify, Weather Forecast, authentication APIs, GitHub APIs, Twitter APIs. Twitter supports both. Twitter supports Auth 1 and 1.0 as well, and a JWT token as well, API with the Swagger documentation and everything. That is what I have written over here. So you can just go through each and every topic. If you see that there are so many things, see monitoring also that I have written here. Performance testing also will be there with respect to Postman. In the Postman, we have a performance section also that we can use it here, right? So it's really good. I'm sure that if you're coming from Selenium testing background or manual testing background and you really want to add API testing skills also in your portfolio, that will be great addition, because these days UI plus backend automation is a deadly combination in the market. My personal advice, don't waste your time on unnecessary things, on unnecessary tools like AI in testing and all those things. You never know that, okay, what will happen with the AI, with testing and everything. Whenever it will be there, we will try to learn those things as well later on. Focus on your core skills. That is your the what are the different important test automation tools are there in the market. Like we have Selenium, we have Playwright, or maybe Cypress for UI front, and at the backend front we have Postman and the rest is short mocking and all those things. Those are like very very important things that everyone should know about, and everyone should have these tools or technologies in their portfolio, in their resume, right? So the good thing about the backend automation is that there is no UI, there is no look and feel, there is no flaky test cases. It's just simple mathematics. If it is there, if it is there, if it is, we are hitting the call, getting the API, we have to validate it. It's not like just like in UI automation, wait issue, sync issue, or uh, XPath issue, locator strategies. Today it's working, tomorrow it's not working. Those things we don't need to worry about in API automation. But in API automation, some architecture design or some design based things are very important here, like how exactly APIs are designed. What do you mean by RFC calls? What do you mean by RFC standards? What do you mean by different level of authentications and everything? That is what, if you know and how to present those things at a time of interview, that plays a very important role here. So go through it if you are really interested for this bootcamp. I'm sure that will help you a lot. This is only 3 days in a week that I have already written, and we're starting from 11th July, and timings are 8 p.m. IST, that is evening in India, and only Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3 days in a week, that is more than enough. 1.5 hours, around 1.5 hour that, okay, everyday session. Every day we will be having some doubt sessions also. Assignments, notes, PDFs, everything will be given to you. And you can check according to US around 10:30 a.m. EST, 7:30 p.m. sorry AM PST, and 9:30 a.m. CST. UK guys, maybe you need to check accordingly. For you, it will be 3:30 p.m. If you guys are available, please try to join if you want to join it here. Fee details, everything is written here. You can go through it later on. And once the okay, every day the video recording is and everything, codes, notes, PDF, cheat sheets, everything will be given to you with the lifetime access, right? So if you, let's say, miss any sessions and are not able to attend any specific session, or you are on holiday or something, every day you are getting the recorded videos for the same session. You can go through it, and then you have any doubt, you can just clear your doubts later in the session. And these recordings and everything you will be getting with the lifetime access. So what else you need them, right? So just focus on your learning. If you're really interested, please go through it. Just a matter of 2-3 months, and then I'm sure your expertise in terms of API and API automation to the next level after this particular bootcamp. So enroll for it and let me know in the comment section, or you can mail me also in case of any issues, in case of any doubts. You can mail me, and my email ID is actually written here. It is my email ID. You can just mail me here in case of any doubts or any queries. You can WhatsApp me also on this number in case of any query related to training or this bootcamp. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and God bless you all, guys.